Ted Fry.
Good evening. My name is Ted Fry, and I'm a voter from Silverdale. The majority of the voters elected you to represent us. I'm not seeing that representation. When you talk about KRRC, I hear and see these words such as imminent threat, public safety. That's funny, though, since I didn't hear that the range was an imminent threat when El Dorado Hills was in development, or when Klahowya was built, or when the state owned the land. I didn't hear it when the range provided proficiency training to our servicemen and women to prepare them for war. I didn't hear those words when law enforcement officers trained there. It is only after the county, the state, and KRC negotiated a deal so that Heritage Park could move forward that I heard those words, imminent threat to public safety. I would agree that if a man walked in here with a knife, he would be an imminent threat. But I have a hard time believing that an organization that has been doing the same thing in the same area for over 80 years is an imminent threat. I thought you required KRC, which is a private range, to open to the general public to provide a safe and controlled area. When I hear that the range presents an imminent threat, I can only think that it isn't the range that is dangerous any more than a car is dangerous just sitting there. It takes someone behind the wheel or behind a firearm to make it dangerous. I hear you say that the voters and residents of Kitsap County are incapable of being responsible in the use of firearms. The residents that do have firearms in this county are irresponsible, and the county must act. I wonder what Lauren Phillips or Matt Drake would say if they heard you say they were irresponsible or incapable of operating a precision instrument safely. In other words, a firearm. I have a hard time believing that the University of Nebraska, Holy Cross, Cornell, MIT, Princeton, Purdue, Yale, Duke, Notre Dame, Harvard, and the University of Washington, and more than 300 other colleges and universities that have shooting scholarships, that they would have irresponsible shooters. And in case you didn't know it, Lauren Phillips used to practice at KRRC. And Matt Drake is an Olympic gold medalist, and in the words of Kitsap's son, he once ruled the world in skeet shooting. I guess because your voters and firearms enthusiasts must be protected from their own irresponsibility, a range ordinance had to be developed to protect everyone. I have heard the county range ordinance was modeled after the Collins County ordinance and that it wasn't challenged. On the surface, it would appear that KRRC, in refusing to follow the Kitsap range ordinance, is just being stupid. But as I understand it, the Collins ordinance exempted the current ranges and only required a conditional use permit for the new range that was being developed on county land. If you use the Cowlitz ordinance, why not the whole thing? Once again, I see the county operating in a manner that supports the minority, and rejects the will of the majority. Need an example? 300 supporters of the ordinance, 5,000 opposed, yet you still passed it with last-minute changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fry.